Hello, Rambling Rector here. I thought I'd share with you one of my favourite stories about Jesus, and it's one of those stories that is quite funny, I think. And now we don't often think of Jesus as being a particularly funny person, but I think he's got a very rich sense of humour, and I think a lot of the jokes that he tells, or the funny stories that he tells, would be much clearer to the people in first century Palestine than they probably are to us today. And the first story I wanted to talk to you about was Jesus talking to the Samaritan woman at the well, and that's taken from the 4th chapter of the Gospel according to John. And it's a fabulous story, and it opens with Jesus sitting at a well, and he meets a woman, a Samaritan woman. Now, of course, we all know that Samaritan women are going to be trouble, as all Samaritans are, because, of course, they're not Jewish, not proper Jewish like we would understand it. And so, therefore, he's probably caught in a bit of a bind having to talk to this woman. And, of course, she's a woman, and he's, at this stage, a single man out in public talking to a woman, which is completely unacceptable. And already so many lines have been crossed, so many boundaries have been challenged before we even start the story. So she's come along and she's drawing water from the well being quite deep, presumably, and full of water, which is still water at the bottom. And the first real sort of conversation we have is all about living water. Now, Jesus will be talking about living water in the sense of moving water, as we would understand it, a river. And, of course, this well has got stagnant, water. Obviously, you can drink it, but it's certainly not living water. And his listeners will be thinking, yes, the living water, the water that flows from Jerusalem, both east and west, and this image of the water that we would use to baptize, to cleanse ourselves from our sins and so forth. So there's lots and lots of meaning, lots and lots of levels of meaning that sit behind that as well when we start talking about living water. So of course Jesus is talking about the living water of baptism, and of course this is ritual cleanliness, so he's probably going to get this lady offside, I would imagine. But she says, give me this water so I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water, talking about normal water, of course. And he said, go, call your husband and come back. I have no husband, she says. And Jesus said to her, you're right when you say you have no husband. The fact is you have had 5 husbands, and the man you have now is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true. And the woman said, I can see that you are a prophet. Which is hysterical. Sure, she says. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're an absolute genius. Now, some of you might think that's slightly naughty of me to say that, but I think it's absolutely classic. It's just, you can imagine she's rolling her eyes and say, yeah, clever, really clever. Yeah, absolutely. I've had 5 husbands. Yeah, and, the one I've got now, he's not my husband either. Men are not inclined to look after me. Absolutely. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place we must worship is in Jerusalem. Jesus declared, believe me, woman, the time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and now come, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. And the woman said, I know the Messiah, called the Christ, is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us. And then Jesus declared, I who speak to you am he. One of those profound statements that Jesus makes to that woman. I am the person of whom you are speaking. And she says, you're such a prophet, you know all of these things. And he says, I am so much more than that. But I can just imagine this wonderful toing and froing, and she's such a strong character. And like so many of the women that Jesus deals with in the Bible, absolutely is not taking any prisoners in her dealings with him. Absolutely wonderful. I love that story. I hope you do too. Please subscribe and like this video if you want to receive more, and I'll do some occasional videos of the stories that make me laugh in the Bible. Thank you.